106.7 Light FM. I'm Cubby with Christine, and you know her and love her from CNN. Now she's an author. Joining us right now via Zoom, because that's the way it's been the last 2 years. Poppy Harlow.
Hi.
Hi. Such a joy. I'm like very starstruck. Thank you both for having me.
Aw, thank you so much for being here. So Cubby, you've got it in your hand. Exactly. Are you going to read it to us today, or
I'm going to read it to you every page. The Biggest Little Boy, A Christmas Story, written by the one we love, Poppy Harlow. This is so amazing, and I definitely have a new appreciation for a book like this because I have a 2-year-old daughter. And Poppy, I have to tell you, like, have you always wanted to write a children's book? Or was it something that was it like after you had kids, it kind of hit you?
It definitely hit me after I had kids, and thank you both so much for having me. This was fun. No, I had actually no plans to write a children's book, and the way that The Biggest Little Boy came to be is kind of true story. So I'm walking down I guess it would be 2 Christmases ago, or 2.5 years ago almost, down the street where we live in near our house in Brooklyn, and through one of those Christmas tree markets. And Luca is my son. He's like 1 or younger at the time, carrying him in a baby Bjorn, and he grabs one of the big trees and almost pulls it over, right? Because this is what Luca does. He's wild. And in the moment, I still remember the moment, you guys, standing between the CVS on the corner and the Christmas tree. And I was like, that's a great Christmas book. How am I going to like write this and teach kids they don't need these big things? Because there was no way that big tree was fitting in our place. And so that's where the idea came from. And then I actually took pen to paper, wrote it, took it to a book agent, took it to a publisher, and I cannot believe it came to life with sparkles. Let me tell you, there are real sparkles on the front.
It's really well done.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. How did you find your illustrator, the artist?
Ramona Kowalitsky is her name. She's the magic of this book. I mean, glad people like the story, but she brought it to life. As I say to her, she made it sing. This is an interesting process. It actually takes a long time to find an illustrator when you're writing a children's book who has the time, their schedule works out with yours, wants to do the project, gels with you. And this was Ramona, and she makes it pop off the page. And I, really didn't give her direction. Like, she read the book and this is what she came up with. And we were all just floored. So she's amazing.
And you just read the book actually right before we started recording this interview for a school, right? You did it via Zoom?
I read it to Sienna, my daughter's class, on Zoom, which was when her teacher asked, I was like, yeah, I'd love to, but is Sienna okay with that? Because the book's about her brother, her brother Luca. I'm like, is she gonna be okay with that? And they said, oh yeah, she will. Sienna has been a good trooper. There were some rough feelings at the beginning about why the book was about Luca and not her, which I totally understand. The Sienna book is coming, but years away. But I guess my note to parents would be, do not write a book about one of your children. Write it about both of your children, okay? This is the lesson learned the hard way from me.
But like you said, the next one's coming at some point.
It's coming.
In all your free time. This is the thing. I'm wondering how you found time. We hear the inspiration, but really the time to sit down and write the book. You're doing CNN, then I understand that you're going to Yale University Law School. You're kind of busy.
I just thought that I should have a mellow year. Okay. Thank you for the question. It's a great one. So I wrote the book like 2 years ago, right? So that is the process. It takes, once you finalize the edits, it still takes like a year to get it illustrated. And then lots of COVID delays, literally shipping it overseas to us. But I think it came out at the perfect time, right before Christmas and the holidays. How did I find the time? It was, you remember, I was writing this during like a really tough news cycle. And I was an escape. Like, I would leave work and, there's a lot of negative news to cover, and I would just dive into this, and it was all positive and a joy. So I didn't really see it as work. I worked with a great book agent, Tina Dubois, here in New York, and Tamar Brazis at Penguin, who really helped me craft and hone the message and made me think of things that I hadn't thought of. So it was a fun team thing. And yes, this year I am in law school, which is wild and so fulfilling. And you guys, the minute we finish, I am diving into finals prep. I have finals for the next 3 weeks. Yes, haven't taken
Oh
it
my goodness.
in 20 years. Thank you very much. But I thought, why not graduate when I'm 40? And that's the goal. It's a 1-year program at Yale Law School, not a full JD. It's a master's in law, and it's built for journalists and postdocs. And it is so enriching. And I'm so glad I took this leap. And I'm so grateful to my husband for making it possible and taking on even more at home on top of his busy job. And frankly, I mean, CNN made the impossible possible. Like, what employer says, oh yeah, you want to go to law school and not do your show for 8 months? Sure, we'll make it work. And they did. And Jeff Zucker, who leads us, is just, I will never forget this. I think it's a lesson for a lot of employers. Like, if you can do something for your employee that means a lot to them and hopefully will make them better at what they do for you, make it work, right? And so I'm anchoring every holiday, of course, double shifts when I don't have class. That was the deal. And filming a new series for CNN Plus, our streaming series. I film that on Fridays when I don't have class. But CNN saw a way to make this work, and I owe them so much. So now I just need to pass my finals.
So you are going to be back on that 9 a.m. to 11
Yes,
shift,
I
right?
will be back. I miss my partner, Jim. I will be back full time on that show with him at the end of May, beginning of June when I finish. And right now I fill in on the show on the holidays and get to be, I was with our team is wonderful of writers and producers. So I got to be with them on anchoring on Thanksgiving, and it made me remember how much I miss them.
Yeah. Well, you're amazing. I mean, you're part of my routine, especially in the last couple of years. I mean,
Oh, I'll be back. That's
yeah, Christine and I, we do the radio show from home, and then I usually get off the air at 9:30, and I was right to CNN to find out about, everything. And but I can't wait to see you back on TV. But until then, The Biggest Little Boy, A Christmas Story. Where can people get it? I know it's a simple Google,
so support your independent bookstores. Okay, a lot of them have it. So in your neighborhood, had your independent bookstore, would be great. You can get it on the Penguin Random House website, or you can get it on Amazon. And if you like it, leave a review. It's fun. Like, I get to read these reviews online of what people think or what their kids said. So keep them coming. I got a chance last week to read this book to some amazing students at the Madison Square Boys and Girls Club in Brooklyn, where we live. And I had been volunteering there for almost a decade and used to be on their board. And so they invited me in to read it to their kids. And I was so blown away by these students in the Explorers Club. They're like 5 and 6 years old. They were great. And so some of the proceeds from the book will go straight to Madison Square Boys and Girls Club. And they're just an amazing organization. If you want to donate to them on your own as well, but I just wanted to put in a little word for them.
Absolutely.
So Poppy, what is the main message of this book?
Thank you for asking that. The message that I really seriously wanted to send with this book to my kids and every child is that you don't need big things, right? Luca thinks he needs this big tree, and especially raising our kids here in New York City where there's so much stuff and excess. And, we grew up in Minnesota, and I was always reminded by my parents of, like, you don't need big things to fill your heart and to make you happy. And I wanted to remind our kids and every kid of that like oftentimes what brings us the most joy is the little things right in front of us, like the little tree that no one wanted. Because, by the way, then Luca could carry it home himself. He could put it in his room. He could reach up and put the baseball hat on top. It wasn't about having some ginormous tree. Now, I will tell you, when I was reading this to Luca last week, he goes, Mom, little trees are boring. I want one that touches the clouds. So we're still working on the message. So seeping in to Luca, but it's a work.
But you just gave away a big spoiler. You ruined the whole ending, though.
Sorry. Kids.
All right, we love you, Poppy. The Biggest Little Boy Christmas Story. Go get it. It's great.
I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
So nice to meet you. Thank you.
106.7 Lights FM.